Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday morning, the 24th. We have 2 more days until Thanksgiving. Um, I have full information about Thanksgiving. We are not having a big Thanksgiving. It's just going to be Mom, Jerry Ann, and myself. So I don't have to worry about clearing off this bed by Thursday for Aunt Sue. Um, it has been decided that it is best for Aunt Sue to stay in her neck of the woods in St. Louis due to COVID situation. In fact, I just got done reading a news clip about reports of people who are going to continue with their um, trips to visit family during the holiday season, even though CDC has basically advised everybody not to. That's fine. These people are going to go see family no matter what the situation is, and I can understand because as a child who grew up in the military, when we were stateside, we did our best to go see family. Rain, shine, snow, didn't matter. Depending on where we lived was the only thing that mattered. When we lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, we came up here to St. Louis to visit family we traveled up here for Thanksgiving, and then we traveled back up here for Christmas. So we were around family during the holidays. And I understand how hard it is right now because of COVID not to go see family for the holidays. Because that's like, let's say, I'm just going to use Jerry Ann's family for instance. Once a year, the whole family would gather at a spot on Long Island to have a family gathering. And we would have family who came from Scotland and Ireland. She had family members in Ireland who would come over here. I don't remember Scotland, so I'll take that back. But I definitely know there was at least one small family unit who came from Ireland, and they would come, and you'd know they were there because we would arrive, or they would arrive at the park, and shortly after they got there, they were breaking out family portrait albums. They were playing various types of Celtic sounding music. I'm pretty sure that if I had started playing Celtic Thunder, which is a male singing group, or Celtic Women, which is a female Celtic singing group, there would be ears being perked up like, oh, he knows that music. But that would happen once a year. Just like when I was growing up, it was once a season, the holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We would be when we were in Arkansas, we would be up here visiting family and having Thanksgiving and Christmas. I almost said thanks Christmas, as a family group. And then when Dad retired from the military, when we were in Arizona, we were at my Aunt Lee's house for Easter, St. Pat's, Thanksgiving, Christmas. My father was a big proponent for big holiday gatherings. Unfortunately, combination of where I live and a lot of people don't like traveling, it doesn't happen anymore. Once in a blue moon, I will say this much because it has happened. Doesn't not that it doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen every year. Last year for Thanksgiving, her two of her sisters and one niece was here for Thanksgiving. We've had friends of hers like Lisa from Texas come up here for. They've come up here for like a holiday. I think they was it a holiday or was it just a general? It's summertime. Got nothing better to do. Let's come up and go out and visit, kind of thing. Um, 2021 is going to be an interesting year because I'm hoping by summertime, we've got the COVID situation under control, between the proposed vaccine and just hopefully our new government system does a crackdown on mandatory masks and whatnot. I'm not looking for a mandatory shutdown. All I'm looking for is a border travel cutback, or I don't want to say shutdown because that means a lot of people who rely on the airlines for work would be out of a job. But I think any travel in and out of the country should be either slowed down or dealt with in a smart manner. I'm going to mention, I'm not going to mention names because I can't remember names, but I'm going to mention a couple. I had one viewer suggest to me to run for president because I seem to have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I have a buttload of ideas that could possibly make our country a little bit better under the pandemic. Outside of the pandemic, well, not to jump on a political bandwagon because I don't want to. I just want to state this much. What I've read or what I've heard, that Sleepy Joe Biden, as everybody wants to call him, has a lot of similar ideas that I do to get this country, running a little bit smoother, a little bit better after what's happened during the election or during the campaign season. Other than that, I don't want to run this country. You know why? Because some of the ideas I have for running this country, some of the ideas I have for this country, would be frowned upon by, I'd say, a good large percentage of the American people. The true American people would love me to death because I would give them back their tribal lands, their true tribal lands, not the tribal lands that were established by the government back in the 1800s. I mean, the tribal lands that they lived on before the white man came. I'm a big fan, proponent, however you want to put it, of the indigenous people. I'm calling them the indigenous people because a lot of people, when they hear the word Indian people, they're thinking of people from India, not from what we call America. Other than that, I just have ideas that could work for it could, in theory, be beneficial. And I don't mean just to the American people, I mean beneficial to the world, as in the climate, earth-friendly energy. We're starting to get we're starting to use earth-friendly energies between the wind turbines, hydroelectric energy. They're discovering ways to harness energy from the waves of the ocean to create electrical energy. And places like the Gulf Coast, where they're always having hurricanes or stuff like that could be harnessed if we have the strong enough material to withstand hurricane force winds. We can harness that energy. The planet creates enough natural energy that we don't need to be drilling for oil or digging for coal or digging for plutonium or whatnot for nuclear energy. I mean, all that right there, the oil, the coal burning, the nuclear power plants, those are not earth-friendly. Those are actually more harmful than helpful. We just don't realize it I guess one of the games that I play on my computer kind of helped me understand that. There's the game Civilization, the what's it called? Civilization Rising Storm. If you have it on the normal to higher than normal settings, you get earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, drought, flooding, all the things that the planet could throw at us if we do the wrong thing. And I noticed in the game that as I use more coal or more oil or more nuclear plants, there's more devastating weather or natural phenomenon, as well as the potential for nuclear power plant meltdown or oil or coal plants catching fire or things like that, which is devastating to your city or whatever is close by. Yeah, I play that game and I watch what happens and I go, that is a potential for the real world happening. And then we wonder why we're having 50 hurricanes in one season, which is higher than normal. Droughts, forest fire, devastating forest fires due to drought or natural things. Storms that are higher or more frequent or more devastating than normal within the last 10 years. Yeah, it's because of the fact that we're doing a lot of dumb stuff. Then I had another viewer, and I'm not going to mention names because that's not important when you're being, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Well, anyhow, it didn't sound good. Oh, it's a truck outside with squeaky brakes. I thought it was something in my house, like what the. But anyhow, basically somebody made the statement that I'm disturbed. You know what? You are correct, my dear. I am disturbed. I know I'm disturbed. The thing is, what you perceive as being disturbed and what I know myself as being disturbed are probably two different things. It's not that I'm disturbed as in deranged or insane or have some dangerous mental issue. I have a lot of different issues. Now, I don't have the time to explain them all, let alone state them all. I know I suffer from ADD, or actually adult hyperactive attention deficit disorder. I also have bouts of manic depression. I also have bouts of just, like, I let too much stuff get to me. And when there's too much stuff to get to me, I go a little bonkers. And it comes out in multiple different ways. Depending on my mental status or my whatever it is that disturbed me, depends on how it comes out. Sometimes it comes out in anger. Sometimes it comes out in bursts of energy that I use to the benefit of trying to do stuff around my house. Sometimes it comes out in depression. Sometimes it comes out in just crazy ideas. My brother-in-law, God rest his soul, Robert, once called me something really funny. And when I sat down to think about it, I went, he's correct. He called me, and I know it sounds bad, it sounds derogatory and whatnot, but he called me an idiot savant. Now, when I asked him about it, he was like, what he meant was the factor that I might not be in a higher education level as he was because I dropped out in the middle of 12th grade, but still got my GED within months without study. But he said basically what it is I come up with crazy ideas that actually work, that are actually intelligent ideas, but because of the fact that I didn't have any education in that realm or any formal teachings or education in higher learning, it comes out of nowhere. And when he explained it to me, I said, no, it does come from someplace, but it's a place that we do not see. It's a place we do not fully understand, because I feel, and I still do even today, I have a higher connection to a source of information that cannot just be slapped down in a book or shown to the general populace. Um, One person who has higher education than I do, and they're a theology, his title is Professor of Theology. I cannot remember what school or where he came from to be a professor, but he's a professor of theology and mythology. He studied both sides of the coin, and he said it's that information, that spark of inspiration or that spark of knowledge, comes from beyond, what he said is called beyond the veil. It is a unseen curtain that separates our physical reality from the spiritual reality, where somebody who had a near-death experience called it the library of knowledge. Basically, it's a place where knowledge, past, present, and future, is held in this giant library of sorts, as many people have described it. So when I said that to Robert, he had to literally think about it, because Robert he was schooled in a Catholic school. He went to New York State University, Buffalo, New York. He started out wanting to do his first, before he changed electives, was he wanted to get a degree in dead languages, which is somewhat hard to do, because when you say dead languages, you literally mean languages that are no longer spoken in the modern day world. He wanted to study like ancient Greece, or the language of ancient Greece, ancient Latin, basically languages that, like I said, they're ancient. They're not an everyday used language. He wanted to learn the languages of old. But then he decided to switch his elective to computers and media and graphic design. And he became a good graphic designer. And he became so good that he was able to basically, after I don't know if he graduated or he dropped out. I can't remember if he got his bachelor's degree or not, his 4-year degree. But when he got out of school and whatnot, he was so good that he was able to not only freelance, but he was being hired by some big names that do a lot of graphic designs for clothing departments and things of that nature. And he was making, as a freelancer, he was making $30+ an hour. And he made so much money because he literally threw himself into his work and would work 16+ hours straight for weeks on end, getting the stuff done and earning the money, that he was able to basically, as a freelancer, say, okay, I've got X amount of dollars. I'm going to stop taking jobs, take what money I have, and go. He was able to travel across country. In fact, they said that he was actually able to go overseas for a short vacation. I don't know where he went, but that's what he would do. He'd earn a buttload of money, take a vacation, take a holiday, do whatever he wanted, come back, start all over, hire himself out or go to the companies that hired him for good money and see if they had work for him and do whatever he had to do to make money. He always had enough money to pay his bills and whatnot, and then do whatever he chose to do. You know, I envied him for that ability. I really did. But things happen for whatever reason. It just goes to prove that he was in his 30s, 34, 35, somewhere around there. And he, maybe a little bit older, because he was born in 81? No. I don't remember when he was born, but I think he was about 15 to 20 years my younger. So he was in his 30s, early 30s, mid 30s. But kid had he had a lot of potential, and I'm sorry that he had to go. But we don't know what our futures are going to be like. And the reason why, even those who have claimed to had near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences, and seen the future, the future is not engraved. It can be changed. I mean, I've studied Nostradamus, which was hard to do because his quatrains are not in flat, simple, statements. I've also read one or two books that were put out about Edgar Cayce. And I can tell you this much. Some of those quatrains and predictions by Cayce have come true. Look at Hitler. They saw that happening. But some of the other ones that they've done have not. Some of their other prophecies have not happened yet. And the thing is, you can translate the quatrains. You can understand Cayce. You can understand Nostradamus. You can understand a lot of other different prophets, including prophecies out of the Bible. The thing is, we don't know when they're going to happen. We can only try to look out for the signs. And some of the signs I've been seeing lately, globally, I begin to wonder. Are we in the beginning? Is it happening? Scary thought. I think it is. But all we can do is keep a lookout, keep our heads on a swivel, as the military would say, and keep our eyes on the horizon, and just do our best to survive. But anyhow, on a more positive side, I do not want to put that away. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to answer one particular question. Nellie, she was talking about my last video where I was talking about how we are planning to make changes to Jerry Ann's craft room, our bedroom, and we're not going to really change the furniture. We're just making like the bookshelf and just a few other little changes in here for the future, starting after Christmas. And she asked, what is our favorite house style? Well, Nellie, I'm going to give you Jerry Ann's favorite styles, and I'm going to give you my styles and opinions. Jerry Ann, we tried to do our bathroom and kitchen in a semi-French country, French chic style. Jerry Ann loves the French country style, the French chic style. She likes the toiles and the patterns and the colors and the look. I I don't really have an interior style. My interior design style is more. It's a cross. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the French country, um, because to me the French country is a little too frilly, frou-frou. Um, don't want to say feminine because there's plenty of men who live in French country style homes. Um, and I don't know if that's their choice or that's the woman's choice. But the French country style is more of a feminine style. Um, if I were to go for an actual style, it would have to be the German style of interior decorations: plain, smooth, functional. Not really industrial. The idea of the industrial look, which I've seen, no, no, I don't want something industrial. I guess if you would have to label it, it would be German country. I guess they're not as frilly or with all the toile and all that. Nah, I can live with it. It looks nice and whatnot, but it's not my personal taste. Um, but yeah, if I were to go for a personal style or something like that, it would have to be American Southwest or, well, no, not really American Southwest. It would be more like country. Not French country, just country, like in our American country. Um, or German, the German country style, which I've seen while I was living in Germany. Or I've seen some of the interior looks of homes for like modern day Norwegian. Um, if you've ever gone to IKEA, you've seen what modern day Norwegian furniture looks like. It's modular, it's simple, it's smooth, it doesn't take up a lot of room. In fact, I've seen a lot of different new stuff that is coming out of Europe and Japan, because even the Japanese style would be nice. It's all modular. One, like I saw something that I thought would be cool as can be. It looked like a bookshelf, looked like one of those big, tall, giant bookshelves, and if you pulled it down just right, everything moved in such a manner that nothing fell off the shelves, and then it converted into a writing desk. I've also seen the same thing where it looks like a bookshelf and you pull it down and it's a bed. Um, that would be my style because I like things simple, non-cramped, non-cluttered. I know my desk looks like a clutter, but organized. That's the word, not cluttered. I like organized. I like things to be organized and in their places and simple. I don't like I don't like complicated stuff. I don't like complicated patterns or complicated furnishings or anything like that. Um, if I could rewind time in my home to a era that would I think was cool and nice looking, it would be probably turn of the century, Victorian style. There we go. That's the word, Victorian style. I like the patterns. I like the looks. It wasn't overly fancy, but it was comfortable. It was non-complicated, it just, yeah. I guess Victorian style, Victorian country. There we go. That's the word, Victorian country. Um, but I don't really have a favorite style because I could literally take bits and pieces from various different eras or various different styles and make it look good. I mean, I would like in here probably be like English, an English looking or English style study. My bedroom, I could either go modern Japanese or turn of the century Victorian. I mean, the big sleigh bed. That's what I always wanted. I don't know why. The look and feel of those big European style sleigh beds where you had the headboard with the curvature on the top and the footboard with a lower curvature, on the ends, and the I wouldn't say clawed feet, but the big, like, yeah, I guess you'd say clawed feet look. Um, that's kind of what it's kind of what I dreamed of in my room, is like an old school European, Norwegian with the big giant sleigh bed, or the big, um, what do they call it? In Scandinavia, they called it the king's bed, because it was designed almost like a sleigh bed, but instead of just have the little curvatures, they had the big dragon headed, um, ends, corners, however you want to put it. I've always dreamed of like doing my bedroom, old school European, because of the sleigh bed, the big fluffy, the nice soft fluffy mattress with the big eider down, cover, quilt, whatever you want to call it. That's the top layer. Um, that's me. And I've slept under an eider down, quilt, and I'll tell you one thing. They're nice and warm during the winter times, and they're nice and cool during the summer times. They literally keep you cool during summertime, and keep you warm at night, because something about the eider down, it basically, if it's cold outside, or the room is cold, the eider down, like, literally makes it, I don't know how to describe it now. But anyhow, if you know anything about eider down, you know what I'm talking about. As for my kitchen, my kitchen and bathroom probably be almost the same style, and I like the look of the country chic, or French country, not chic, French country in the bathroom, because we did that once. Um, as for the kitchen, I'd probably go. Oy, I'd probably go French country chic, or French chic, because it's functional. And to me, I don't really have a true style for the rest of the house, because to me, if it's functional, I don't always worry about the look, as long as it's functional and clean. Um, Otherwise, I don't have I, my style is kind of generic when it comes to the main parts of the house, but it's the areas like the bedroom and the kitchen that I kind of worry about, because the factor the kitchen needs to be functional and not cluttered or difficult to get to my cookware or measurement equipment or anything like that. I mean, I took a course in architectural design, and I can tell you this much. The one room that was always a like focal point when it came to architectural design was the kitchen. The kitchen had to be in a certain pattern for functionality, and it either had to be in like, it's like, if you can take a triangle, no matter how you stretch the triangle, if you took a triangle and you put it on a piece of paper, and each point of the triangle was your stove was here, your refrigerator here, and your sink over here, so it looked like a triangle pattern. That way, it's easier to go from refrigerator to stove, make your food, from stove to sink to clean your pots and pans. Not everybody knows that simple design. This house, the triangle pattern is too awkward, because it's not equal distances. That's the thing, is a triangle has to be of equal distance to make it functional. It's not. My kitchen's not. If I had the financial capacity to literally rebuild the kitchen, I would. I've already did a blueprint of how I like my kitchen to look, for this house. But anyhow, my favorite home style on the interior is kind of mixed bag of nuts. As for the exterior, if I could do, without going into elaborate, funky designs, if I could redo the exterior of a house, or if I were to build a house without going into old school Norwegian Norse design, if I were to build or redesign this house or rebuild this house from scratch, the exterior would be more of a German Tudor style. That's how that's how I love the outside of my house to look like something from, I wouldn't say old school, but even modern day German Tudor houses look as good as they did way back in the 1600s. And a lot of those houses, in fact, there was a house in one of the towns that we drove through, we visited because we went to visit the castle in that town. There was a building that it was still upright. They were still using, survived the wars, World War One and World War Two. The house dated back to 1778. It was a historical building that they used for their town hall, and it was made in the old school German style, which was basically, there was no metal nails. At the time that, I think they said at the time the building was made, in fact, a lot of old German buildings that were still standing, and I'm pretty sure this is true for most of Europe, not just Germany, they didn't use nails. They took a board and then another board that was cut with a U, slid it together, and drilled a hole through the two boards and put a wooden peg through to line up the boards, keep the boards together. And what's good about that design is the fact that it's wood within wood. So if these two boards were to expand and contract, the peg would match on the, wood. That way you didn't have to worry about the nail slowly wiggling its way out through time because of changes in weather pattern or things like that. And I tell you this much right now, it probably cost me a good arm and a leg if I had the money. As that's how I'd have my house built. No nails. Wooden pegs. Use a wooden peg system. The only place that might have nails would be the hold down part of the roofing. But for the most part, I think the problem with nails, metal nails into wood, is the fact that the metal nails is cold, hard, non-giving. Unless you happen to bend it the wrong way while you're trying to hammer it in. But I would use a, tongue and groove peg system. Because then you won't have to worry about a nail over time popping out of its location, which basically weakens the hold on whatever is holding it together, causing the house to slowly fall in. I mean, if you happen to live or know anybody who lives in a house here in America that was built 100, 200 years ago, that's still standing, there's two reasons for that. Proper maintenance and care. And it might have been built the old European style where there is no metal nail holding two pieces of wood together. But over time we've gotten cheap in our builds. All right, it's almost 40 minutes. I'm gonna do excuse me. Got the hiccups. I'm gonna do one last thing before I sign off. Something I used to do a lot of, and I just kind of over the last couple of weeks fallen out of because of, there's a lot of different excuses I can give. I'm not going to give any because it happened. Some people might say it happened because I was getting too involved in the Norse religion, which I was yet wasn't. What I mean by was I was studying it, but I wasn't practicing it. And it had my mind going in a multitude of directions. Most of the directions were just like curiosity. Yes, I know the old school saying, curiosity killed the cat. But there's a saying that some people don't use after that phrase. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but the cat has more than one life. Or there was an old song that I heard. Somebody made it up back in the 80s. And I used to have it on sale because it was during a talent contest on the base there in Germany that Dad was stationed at, basically. And the song basically goes, I can't remember the full song, but the one phrase in the song that always struck me back was, but the cat came back. And basically Ardos was talking about how no matter what disaster occurred and how many times that people tried, the person that the cat kept on coming back to wanted to get rid of the cat always came back to that person. And it was kind of a funny song, and I wish I had that cassette tape. Cassette tape, yeah. That's how old that song is, or how old that cassette was. Because that cassette tape had recordings of a couple of our friends on bass who did bluegrass music. And they did really good bluegrass. I mean, the main person who did most of the singing sung songs like Foggy Mountain Breakdown and a Mountain Dew song, and they did dueling banjos, and they did really good. One guy was playing banjo, the other guy was playing just an acoustic guitar, and I loved it. I'm so mad that tape disappeared. Probably disappeared during one of our moves after Dad died, and I was in one of those, this is a reminder of my dad. I don't want reminders of Dad. Not because of the fact I didn't like my dad, but because of the fact I was just too, excuse me, still is too hard to remember. And there's a lot of positive memories that just, yikes, excuse me. Darn it. No, all right. But anyhow, I'm gonna read this Bible. Well, before I read this Bible passage, I want to ask something, and this question is to everybody, and I'm hoping Nilly and Sheila gets back to me on this, because they've been big proponents. I just got a message that I didn't see the whole message, but it's from Nilly, and it says "win" with a question mark. I think I know what you're talking about, Nilly. On that question, "when." I'm gonna go ahead and answer it now that I just saw it. You're probably asking about when we did a live session. Jerry Ann and I did a live session on her channel. If you're friends of my wife Jerry Ann, you can go and watch it. It's about an hour and a half long. If you're not a friend of on Jerry Ann's channel, I think there's a link that you can click on to go see it. If not, Nelly, let me know as soon as I put this on the air, and I will try to get a link in the description for that comment, or today's video, or a comment period. That way you guys can go watch it, or I'll try to get Jerry Ann to link it to my channel, so you don't have to go join or go see it on hers. But we did a live session last night, and we were only going to do about an hour's worth of live, but we ended up doing a little bit longer because I wasn't keeping track of time. Then I looked up and went, oh, it's 10:30, and I want to spend some quality, well, shouldn't say quality time. I wanted to spend some time playing my game before going to bed. And Jerry Ann, and it wasn't just a factor of what I wanted to do, but Jerry Ann only wanted to do an hour because she wanted to do something before going to bed. And, well, let's say when we're having a good time or we're talking about stuff that we enjoy talking about, like I do on this, where this is now over 45 minutes, it happens. We lose track of time, even when we've got a timer right there. Yes. That in fact, I have a clock that I can look up to, and it's almost 11:30. I've been up an hour and a half. But anyhow, yeah, we did a live chat last night, and we actually did it fairly decent hour. It was like 9 o'clock or so when we started the chat, and 9:30. I can't remember exactly, but I just know it was over an hour, and oh, my nose spray must be running out. I'm gonna have to go take it soon. Ugh. Excuse me. We're out of our regular nose spray, so I'm using a 12-hour nose spray, and I don't even have a handkerchief in here, and I took the Kleenexes I had and put it into a different room. But anyhow, yeah, we did a live session last night, and we had fun. We did it on her channel because, not that she hasn't been producing or putting out as much content as I do as of late, but I was like, "Hun, let's just do it on your channel for the both of us, so you can get like people to watch it and hopefully get some revenue out of it and things like that." And we had a blast. I mean, I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna do it then. I have to see when. Let's see here. I'm working tonight. I'm working tomorrow morning. I don't want to do anything on Thanksgiving because I want to focus on other things on Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm closing or opening Friday, but I might do a live session for myself on my channel here in the near future. If I can, I might have to, I have to figure out what my schedule is for this coming weekend, because I can, if I'm not working, I can do a live session, and I kind of want to do a live session on the weekends. I realized it after doing yesterday's live session that a lot of people could not be on the live session for an extended period of time because people work, and a lot of people want to go to bed or start unwinding by about 10 o'clock or so. So if I do anything, it's going to be on the weekend. And actually, I'm going to ask you guys this. Should I wait until next week after Thanksgiving, or should I try to do it this weekend? Let me know, because if you want to be on, if you actually want to be there for the live session, I will do it on a time frame that would be more beneficial for everybody. That's why I'm thinking the weekend, because as we're getting closer to wintertime, not everybody can be up at 9-10 p.m. at night time because they've got work schedules or family plans or things of that nature. And I'll tell you this much, for the most part, I'm not going to put my schedule out for everybody to see. But for the most part, I'm usually home and probably ready for a live stream by like 10 p.m. at night on some days, depending on my schedule. Because if I'm a closer, I work until at least 9 p.m. If I'm an opener, I work from 10 o'clock in the morning to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on my schedule and how busy it is. But anyhow, this is almost way too long, and let me just, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to close this off, and I'm going to do a different video for later on this Bible verse. So, if you enjoyed this lengthy conversation, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. Somewhere along the bottom line here is a thumb up, subscribe button. Basically, it says subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe it, and then a bell will pop up, and you click on that, and YouTube will put out another video. Until next time, have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.